I discover my girlfriend is actually my half-sister, and that my father and brother have been hiding the truth for years. My name is Jason. I always thought my family was messy, but not this messy. Growing up in Pennsylvania, it was just me, my dad, and my older brother, Jake. My mom had left when I was 10, no explanations, just a note and a trail of heartbreak, so we learned to live without her. I buried the pain, focused on football, girls, college. Life moved on. But nothing prepared me for the emotional minefield I was about to walk into, one that would leave me questioning everything. My past, my family, even myself. I met Emma at a 4th of July barbecue 3 years ago, and she changed my life. She was warm, sharp-tongued, sarcastic but soft when it mattered. She became my world. We moved in together, made plans, talked about kids, a future, forever. She loved my family, or so I thought. But lately, Emma had been acting distant. She'd stare at old photos on the fridge for too long, ask questions about my mom, questions I never had answers to, and there was this one time. I caught her crying in the bathroom after talking to Jake. She swore it was just a bad day. I believed her. I trusted her. Until one night, she sat me down, pale, hands shaking, and said, "I need to tell you something, and you're going to hate me for it." My heart dropped. I braced for cheating, for a secret pregnancy, maybe even a terminal illness. What I didn't expect was this. Emma had found my mom. Not by accident, but on purpose. She had been looking for her for months behind my back. And the worst part, she didn't tell me because she didn't know how to explain why she was looking. Because Emma wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my sister. Half-sister, technically. My mom had left us to start a new life, and Emma was the child she had after disappearing. They lived in the same city for years, and one day, through a Facebook rabbit hole, Emma found an old photo of my mom tagged by a mutual friend. That photo led to another, and then another, and before long, the truth unraveled like a horror film in slow motion. Emma hadn't meant to fall for me. We met by chance, connected by accident, and by the time she realized the truth, it was too late. We were in love. She told me all this in one breathless, tear-filled confession, while I sat frozen, my entire world crumbling like a house built on lies. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something, punch a wall, run and never look back. But I couldn't move. The betrayal wasn't just Emma's. It was my mom's. My dad's. Everyone who knew and said nothing. Emma begged me to understand, said she loved me, said it was real, said she hadn't known when we met. But the part that destroyed me? She had known for the past 6 months and still chose to keep it a secret, still chose to sleep beside me, say, "I love you," plan a future with me. I moved out that night, numb, broken, betrayed by love and blood all in one shot. But that wasn't the end. 2 weeks later, Jake called me in the middle of the night. He sounded panicked, shaken. "Dad's in the hospital," he said. "And there's something you need to know about him too." Now I'm standing at the edge of a cliff I didn't even know existed, and I'm about to jump, because the secrets didn't stop with Emma. And what Jake tells me next might just destroy whatever's left of me. I rushed to the hospital, heart pounding, still raw from Emma's betrayal. My mind was racing, playing out every possible scenario. Was Dad dying? Did he know about Emma? Was this his way of escaping the confrontation I hadn't even started yet? But when I got there, he wasn't dying. He was sitting up, pale, wired to machines, but alive. Jake stood in the corner, arms crossed, jaw clenched. The air between them felt heavy, like a storm had already passed, but left destruction behind. Jake didn't waste time. He walked up to me and said, "You're not going to like this, but you need to hear it. Emma's not the only one who's been hiding something." I looked between them, my voice dry. "What now?" Jake rubbed his face, eyes bloodshot, and said, "Dad knew. He knew Mom had another kid. He's known for years." My knees buckled, I had to sit down. "What are you talking about?" "He's been in contact with her," Jake continued, barely able to look at me. "Since she left. They never stopped talking. She didn't vanish, David. She left because of you." I stared at them like they were speaking another language. "Because of me?" Dad finally spoke, voice low, wrecked. "Your mom didn't leave because she stopped loving us. She left because of something that happened. Something I did. And then he told me everything. 25 years ago, before I was born, Dad had an affair. Not just any affair, a long one. With her best friend. When Mom found out, she was pregnant with me. She forgave him once, twice, maybe even 3 times, but the last time, she couldn't anymore. She packed up and left, but not before telling him she'd never tell us the truth. She didn't want us to hate him. She asked me to let her go quietly, Dad said, eyes glistening, and I agreed. I raised you boys because she didn't want to drag you through the mess. I felt sick. My chest burned. Everything I thought I knew about my childhood, about the woman I mourned for years, was a lie. And Dad, he let me believe she abandoned me. That she was the selfish one. You should have told me, I said, barely holding it together. You let me grow up thinking she didn't love me. I thought it would be easier, he whispered. I was trying to protect you. No, I snapped. You were protecting yourself. Jake looked like he'd known this for a while. I couldn't even look at him. The room felt like it was closing in on me. And then something even worse hit me. If Dad had been in contact with Mom, if he knew about Emma, did that mean he knew Emma and I were dating? My voice cracked. Did you know about her and me? Dad hesitated, then nodded slowly. Not at first. But yes, eventually. I stood up so fast the chair scraped across the floor. My blood turned to fire. And you didn't say anything? You let us fall in love. You let me sleep next to my own sister. He was crying now, silently, like that made a difference. I walked out of the hospital, Jake chasing behind me, yelling my name, but I couldn't stop. My mind was unraveling. Every step felt like I was walking away from the person I used to be. There was no coming back from this. Later that night, Emma texted me. Just 3 words. He told me. I didn't reply. I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling all night, wondering if this was all just a nightmare I hadn't woken up from. But it wasn't. This was real. And the worst part, I wasn't just angry anymore. I wanted revenge. Not just on Emma. Not just on Dad. On all of them. Because if they could lie to me this easily, how many other secrets were they still hiding? And I was going to find out. Every last one. I didn't go home that night. I drove aimlessly for hours, ending up in the parking lot of a closed diner off I-83. I sat there until sunrise, heart hollow, head pounding, thinking about all the years stolen from me. Not just with Mom, but with the truth. I thought about Emma, how real it all felt, how I would have married her, had kids with her. I thought about Dad, who let me believe I was unwanted by the woman who gave me life, just to protect his reputation. I thought about Jake, who knew and kept it to himself, maybe because he couldn't handle the fallout either. By morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to scream or burn the house down or post some viral revenge story on Reddit like those dramatic threads Emma used to read out loud in bed. No, I was going to be precise. I went back to the hospital, not to see Dad, but to see Jake. I waited outside until he came down for coffee, then walked right up to him. You and I are going to talk, I said. And you're going to tell me everything you've been hiding. Jake looked wrecked, like he hadn't slept either. He nodded and followed me to the parking lot. What he told me next shattered the last piece of me. Mom had tried to contact me. Twice. She sent letters years ago, when I was in college. Birthday cards. Updates. Even one with a photo of Emma and her together, smiling in some backyard in Virginia. But Dad intercepted them. Jake found them later, hidden in the basement in a box labeled taxes. He never said anything because his words, he didn't know how to fix it without blowing everything up. Then maybe it deserved to be blown up, I said. He didn't argue. I took those letters. I read every one, cried through some, punched the wall after others. Mom had written about regret, about her reasons for leaving, about how proud she was of me from afar. She didn't beg for forgiveness, just wanted to be a ghost who cheered me on from a distance. And Emma, she didn't know about the letters either. She found out the truth the same way I had, through accident, pain, and secrets that weren't hers to keep. A week passed before I reached out to her. I told her I didn't forgive her yet, that I might never, but I wanted answers only she could give me. We met at a park we used to go to, back when we were just 2 people in love and not 2 strangers bound by DNA. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were red, makeup smudged, voice trembling. I didn't know when we met, she said again. But when I found out, I froze. I didn't know how to tell you without breaking everything we had. And I guess deep down, I didn't want to lose you. You didn't just lose me, I said. You broke me. She cried, whispered she was sorry, said she'd been seeing a therapist, trying to work through the horror of it all. I believed her. I also believed it didn't matter. Some things can't be undone. I walked away from Emma that day, not out of hate, but out of survival. The person I used to be, the one who loved blindly, trusted fully, that version of me was gone. 2 months later, I drove down to Virginia. I knocked on a door with shaking hands and stood face to face with the woman who gave birth to me. She cried. I didn't. I just said, I got your letters. We talked for hours. Not everything got fixed. Not everything got forgiven. But something cracked open again. A door I thought had been locked forever. I didn't go back to Dad's house after that. I haven't spoken to him since the hospital. I don't think I ever will. Some wounds heal. Others just scab over. As for Jake, we talk sometimes. It's strained awkward. Two brothers trying to rebuild a bridge with ashes. But we're trying. Emma moved out of state last I heard. She sent me one final message. I hope you find peace, even if it's not with me. I didn't reply. But I didn't delete it either. It took months, maybe a year, to start feeling like a whole person again. I started therapy. I took up photography. I traveled. I learned to sit with the pain without letting it define me. And one day, standing on the edge of a cliff in Oregon, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. Not at her. Not at him. Not even at fate. Some stories are tragedies. Some are cautionary tales. Mine was both. But I survived it. And that was enough. Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories.